the past 2.5 months, I think all of us have been witness to some very turbulent times. We have seen, witnessed, experienced so many things. At the same time, we have seen videos, we have seen news, TV, clippings, whatnot. I mean, the world. Uh, we've heard journalists, we've heard news anchors, we've heard politicians, we've heard uh, uh, business magnates, we've heard people who lead organizations, we've heard doctors, nurses, patients, people on the street, workers, immigrants, I mean, all kinds of people. But I'm being very honest with you, I don't remember in the last 2.5 months if even once I have heard a writer or a poet, such kind of people. Because these kind of people are sidelined. By the way, I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Amar Agarwala and I'm from the city of Calcutta. And by passion, I'm a writer and a poet. So I feel that people like us are kind of sidelined because most people don't know much about writers and poets to begin with, and the ones who know, they don't feel that we are capable of delivering any kind of solutions, because we are just thinkers who sit and think and we idle away. But I suppose that is not exactly a correct view. So for a change, just once, why don't you share the thoughts of a writer and a thinker, and you see the way we think about what things are going to be like. We've been bombarded with a lot of thoughts. A lot of information is there, true, good, bad, and ugly. But if I kind of try to find out the kind of information which is positive, it's very little. Most of it is negative. A lot of negative pictures being painted about the disease, about the outcome, about its impact on business, economy, world economy, people. I mean, we also see many sectors badly hit. These are all facts. A lot of it is fact, a little bit of it is a fiction. But I think we all must realize one thing, that whatever we are seeing, or whatever we believe, or whatever we are made to believe by XYZ or media or anyone, is not the complete truth. And I can tell you something which is a very old saying, that nothing is as good or as bad as it seems on first sight. So today, whatever you and me see and think and feel may not exactly be the truth. It might be close to the truth, but it may not be the exact truth. So I just thought I'm going to share something very small with you. Particularly, those kind of businesses which are small, medium, or even, small firms, maybe professional firms, people who are not right on top, people who are not way below, but somewhere in the middle, because, this country is all about the middle class. And I think we all, kind of categorize in it. And I suppose, writers and poets like me are certainly middle class, maybe even lower middle class, but that's perfectly all right. I'm very happy with it. Now, something very small comes to my mind. I thought I'd just explain it in form of a story. And it's a true story. And it so happened that, when about 100 years ago, when the first depression came into the United States of America, I'm sorry, not the first depression, but the last depression, which was somewhere in 1930s, somewhere on the streets of Washington, there used to be a black man, and he wasn't really educated. He didn't have much education. And what he used to do is, he used to sell his wares. I mean, he used to sell burgers, fries, chicken, and these kind of preparation on his kiosk. It's like a cart, and he used to sell that. And he used to do fairly well. He used to do very good business, because people found his things cheap and they found his things really good, and he was quite popular. He made some money, and like all fathers, he had a son, and he wanted his son to get very good education. He didn't want his son to do the things which he has done, or which he used to do. So he was very keen that his son goes to a business school, and his son was also very bright. So finally, with a lot of struggle and putting in all his savings, he managed to send his son to a business school. So while his son went to a business school and he studied and he kind of went on with his academics, the father would just sit back and work every day in a week, do the best he could to survive and to sustain his son. So after a certain number of years, when his son finally qualified and he came back home, and that's the time when the depression was just about trying to come in, sometime in the 1930s, and he told his father that Dad, things are really bad, and there's going to be a depression, and business is going to lose, and people are going to lose, and there's going to be unemployment, the things which you hear today. Economy is going to be very bad. The father said, look son, I'm not a very educated man at all, so you have the best of education, you're from business school, so you advise me what to do, and I'll listen to what you say. So son said, well, you have to tell me about your business, what you do. So the father told him everything, threadbare. This is how much I buy, this is the meat I buy, this is the bread I buy, these are the vegetables I buy, these are the other ingredients I buy, and this is the kind of profit I've been making every day or every week. So son said, well, I think you are taking a very big risk, because in the days to come by, people are going to probably eat less, they're not going to buy street food, X, Y, Z. I said, what do you want me to do? So son said, do something. I would suggest that you cut down your expenses or your investments in this kind of business, daily expenses, to half. You buy half the bread you buy half the meat, you buy half. So that way, you're going to risk less. So you probably will not be in a very high risk zone, and it might, really cut down your losses. So the father went by the son's advice. After all, the son was from a business school. And over the next couple of months, that's what he did. He started buying less. Obviously, he sold less. The lesser he bought, the lesser he sold. And the son kept telling him, you buy lesser, and that way your risk will be lesser. So he bought less, he sold less, and obviously he made less profits. And after a few months, when the depression really hit, he told his son, my God, you are absolutely right. I mean, just see how business has fallen. I mean, had I been doing what I used to do, maybe today I would have been right on the streets. Well, he was literally back on the streets because he was making nothing, and he just went in by popular opinion, and particularly opinion of very highly educated, qualified people. You see, gentlemen, this world is full of risk analysts. There are people who are analyzing, experts, all kinds of experts, who are trying to minimize, reduce risk. And what happened? With all the risk management in the world which we have today, and all the world's expert, well, the whole world is on its knees. I think it's time that the experts move aside just for a few moments and even give others a chance. And I stand in for writers and poets. Just give us a thought. Gentlemen, I told you that I'm a writer and a poet, but I'm a writer and poet by passion, but by practice and profession. I'm a chartered accountant, I'm a lawyer, and I have a management degree. And I've got a lot of qualifications which probably people aspire for, but for me it's just, an exercise towards excellence. And let me tell you something. The way we all frightened today about how things are going to be, and they're going to be bad, and they're going to be worse. Well, probably times are difficult. I don't disagree. But it will not be as bad as what you and me are being made to imagine. Remember, every thought which is being planted in your head has been planted by some authority, somewhere, some power, because they have some link to it. It might benefit X, Y, Z. So let's not be so paranoid, guys. Just remember two things. All of us have it. We need to have hope, because mankind has forever and will always live on hope. And we need to have faith in our abilities. I mean, I'm talking about myself. If I have been a CA 30 years and I have managed for 30 years, come what may, I'm sure I'm going to manage the next 25 or 30 years as long as I'm alive. And the same applies to you. If you have run for your business for 25 or 30 or 40 years, you are definitely going to manage the rest of it. Things are going to be difficult. But now we got to go back on the old-fashioned values. We have too many new policies, new things, new education. I think we need to just go back to the old-fashioned values, which has helped people to come out of those kind of depressions we've had in this world. And I think some of the values are, number one, hardcore old-fashioned beliefs. The old-fashioned value was repair and use. And now we have use and throw. So, we need to be very, very stingy with things and not just go on a splurge. So we have to have these old-fashioned beliefs, working hard, using our skills, and not being too paranoid about too many new things which you're hearing. Just go by your own thumb rule. What do you think is right? Two, we got to be very frugal with our expenditure. We need to just cut down on expenditure and try and spend it on the necessities, at least for some time. This may not be a permanent feature. So hope, faith, old-fashioned beliefs, coupled with a thought that if we manage for so many years, we will. So we need to be careful with our resources, and I think this should be suffice for people like you and me to pull through this, come what the politicians, the anchors, the television guys, the journalists, the world of experts, who and whoever is saying what not. People are going to say, people have always said, but I think you and me need to, for once, listen to our own minds and hearts, and let us listen to it without the interference of too many outside sources which are polluting the river which flows in our mind, and that is the river of sanity. Let's hang on to sanity, and I'm sure that all of us are going to come out of it much stronger than what you and me have imagined till now. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to me, and all the best, and I'm sure you're going to be doing well. Remember something, the future is very bright, and you and me need to wear sunglasses. Thank you so much.